Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Yo, what's up, Giants fam? Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jules. I think John probably quit the show. The Giants are so bad. It looks like the Giants, no joke, Jules, it looked like they quit. They really did, because I showed you the video of Aziz just kind of lollygagging around. I mean, listen, I know they were getting killed at that point, but my man hasn't played at all really this year. You'd think he would hustle a little bit more, but I've seen it from a lot of players, and I get the argument, like, these guys are getting killed, they don't want to hurt themselves, but yo, have some respect for yourself. Play some fucking football. It doesn't seem like they're not doing it. They're not responding to the coach. You're getting people arguing with the coach on the sideline. I don't know what's fucking going on over there, man. What's your take on that?
I mean, well, listen, the funny shit was with Aziz is that he was like, look, man, I'm going to make an impact. You're going to see what Ojulari's all about. And then you're pointing out these highlights of him, like, just fucking, like, playing touch football. And I'm like, wow.
It's like, dude, it's like, how awful.
As far as the arguing goes, it's fucking Slayton. I'm like, dude, you know what? You should be fucking happy that you're on an NFL team, the way I feel, right? This guy's done nothing for seasons. He had one good rookie year. He's done absolutely fucking dick since, all right? I don't care what anybody tries to say. Oh, he was the leading receiver for the Giants. That's not saying much, because you guys beating out a bunch of other scrubs. Like, for real. And you're getting frustrated, and you're the one that wants to talk shit.
But no, it was other guys, too. It was Barkley. It was Shepard, too. It was Xavier during the week. It was other people in the locker room. It's like, dude, it's like, what the fuck, man?
I mean, I think with Barkley, it's just that he's pissed that he's tagged. The team is tanked. And we still want to try to run him like 30 times a game, where he's just like, fuck this.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Like, bro, yeah, he's like I'm 26. I could still play another 2 seasons somewhere. You know what I mean? Don't destroy me in this fucking season. That's a wasted year.
I play all the rookies now and just let them get burned and see what we got. You know, let the fucking young guys just fucking play. It's enough already.
See, but the problem is you got nearly 2 months of the season left. I mean, there's 7 games, 7 fucking games ahead. Like, you can't just pull the trigger on that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Because, like, if you do, I mean, you know, take the fandom out of it, right? I don't really give a fuck how fans feel about it. But the reality is that, you know, what are you going to do? You're just going to put all these backups in and you're going to get blown out fucking 90 to fucking nothing? And then, like, really just watch this team get their heads kicked in, and then, like, you can't give away tickets? I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on here. This team... Like, I get there's injuries, right? And I know we're going to use that as a fucking excuse, but I'm tired of hearing it, right? There reaches a point in every franchise where you can't just say it's injuries alone. You can't just put it on coaching. You can't just put it on fucking ownership. It's a collaboration of everything that just comes together. And the fact that we've seen it time and time again with multiple coaching regimes now, you can't say that, oh, we just haven't found the right guy. You know what I'm trying to say? Fine. Maybe you could look back and say that, you know, all the guys we've had in here up until this point haven't really worked out in the NFL. You know, if you think about it, right? McAdoo had a hot shot to come back, and he was offensive coordinator for Carolina last season. Now he's gone again. I don't even know where he is. I'd have to fucking Google him to find him. You know what I mean? Shermer, I don't even know where the fuck he is. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's on somebody's staff somewhere, but whatever.
You come to the Giants to die.
I mean, but that's kind of what this has become lately. You know what I mean? Like, literally, that's what this franchise feels like now. You know what I mean? It's not the glory days any longer. Like, that's it. Like, if anything, and again, you know, I'm going off of what I've read, you know, like reading things in the past and hearing things from like family and all that. It's almost like we're back in the 70s again, where, you know, like every New York team sucks. You know what I mean? And you know, people could sit in this generation and sit back and wonder why you could live in a city like New York or Jersey or Connecticut, whatever, in this tri-state area, and literally see a ton of Miami fans, a ton of San Francisco fans, a ton of Dallas fans. Yeah. Right? And you sit there like, why the fuck are all these guys so many fans? It goes back to that, right? You know the boxing analyst and commentator Larry Merchant.
Right, of course. Larry's the best.
he wrote a book. Gosh, and the title eludes me at the moment, but it'll come to me. It's something along the lines of like any given Sunday in a way, but it has something in that title or something about it. But the reality is, he wrote this book in the late 70s, early 80s, which I've read. And of course, I can't think of the name of it because I read it a few years ago. But basically, he was a degenerate gambler, Mike. You would have liked it.
Larry?
So old man Larry Mercy with his gray hair coming out
Oh,
with the high pitched voice. Who was a degenerate gambler back in the day? I mean, he would even talk about how he had this line called like the gambler line that would come out like Monday morning on the like West Coast at like 5 a.m. Because that's what Vegas is making
yeah.
the lines. You got to think it's the 70s, right? It's not like today with
Yeah, you
computers
go
and
right
all
on
this kind of shit. You know what I mean? And he writes it in the book where he was just like, it was so like it was just disgusting to see, how the Giants were in that decade and how the Jets were in that decade after, the whole win with fucking name it and everything else. They kind of went on a decline after that. The Bills, they had OJ Simpson. They didn't have shit else after that, right? I mean, in general, the fucking football world sucked. And I feel like, history repeats itself and we're kind of like back into that kind of an era where it's like, it's just become unwatchable. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we had a fluke run in a way where we made the playoffs, we won a playoff game, everybody's hyped. And then here
The
we are
wheels just fell off.
right back to what we were.
Yeah, I didn't really expect it. Like, I remember being on the podcast talking about fondly the Giants and the Jets are going to have like good teams this year. We're going to be fighting for the back pages, and it just like really just from the game one of both teams, which was crazy. The Dallas game, of course, the block field goal, the injuries started to happen right away. Couldn't afford to lose Andrew Thomas. We did, and then the Jets, the way they went down, the very first play, pretty much of Rodgers leaning back and about to scramble and throw, he gets hurt, and the shit just went right down the tubes like week one. Um, it's just fucking sad. But listen, the Dable Joe Shane situation. This talk about if they're gonna come back or not to the Giants. Are they gonna get let go? Gonna get fired? I was on the fence about this now, but early in the season, even like when they were losing like 5 games or whatever, I was like, no way, they're both coming back. That's craziness. Why would you fire them? You got to give more time. But the way they just gave up, kind of quit on the team, the arguments, and I go back, not even just like recently. Remember a few weeks ago, I think I texted you this. Remember when Jones was running off the field and he was just basically ignoring Brian Dable, and we kind of made it like a little like, oh, what's this? He just like looking the other way when Dable's like, ask him what the fuck are we doing? It's like almost like Dable kind of lost a little respect in that locker room from early on in the year. So I don't know what's going on there. I think after the season ends, we might hear some more stuff come out when it's all said and done. That's what it usually does. But I tell you, the way these players reacted, I don't know how you get that locker room back as a head coach. If I had my say, I would probably let the coach go and stick with Joe Shane. But I mean, that's just me. But at the same time, I think both of them fucking stay regardless. But you know what I mean? It's gotten real fucking bad. You know what I mean? You can't take that away. You know what I mean? It's the argument's valid, I would say.
Listen, it's gotten so bad that I referenced a book, and the name of it is the New York Football Lottery. It was published in 1973. So here I mean, you want to really, really go back to like when it was a bandit line, was that early line that had come out, right? So this is
50
whatever.
years ago.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's about a book from 50 years ago, but it's crazy because it's still relevant to today. And think of the name right there, the New York Football Lottery, right? Because that's what the fuck it's like these days. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost getting to a point where it kind of reflects of the 90s where you had a few really dominant teams and they were in the Super Bowl every fucking year and it was literally coming down to them. And then you'd have like, the AFC was a little on the weaker end there until Denver made their run with the back-to-back wins, and it was like, okay, either Dallas and the 49ers are going to be in the Super Bowl, they're going to win. And, whatever fucking AFC team gets lucky and makes it. And now it's kind of flipped, right? Because we look forward to saying that it's going to probably be Kansas City. It's probably going to be the fucking Eagles. And it's like, it just, like you could say they have great players, they have great this, they have great that, but it's crazy how you could take a team like, say, Buffalo that looked like they were on the verge. They were right there. They were going to fucking, they were on the precipice of winning this shit. Even the Bengals, they look a little wishy-washy losing that game in Houston over the weekend. You know, like there's just it's just weird how this whole fucking NFL and football in general just end up working at the end of the day. You know, where literally like you just can't put your finger on it, you know?
Yeah, that's why you can't bet.
Yo, for real. Like it's literally like it is a New York football lottery. Like I said, when it comes to bet, he puts it in there. There was one thing, and I tried it one season. I tried it, I guess, after reading the book. And again, this is like 10 years ago, at least, maybe longer when I read it. And basically he would create his own spread. And what happens if he saw a spread completely out of whack, he would then bet that game and play it to the way he would do it with the spread. Okay. So he did it where it was something crazy where, you got to really put a little bit of thought into it. Smart. And you have to take what both teams are averaging offensively and what they're averaging giving up defensively. And then you got to kind of take those averages and kind of average them against one another and to get like a spread in that sense. But you also give an extra point for a home team. You also give an extra point if there's a major injury or two major injuries. You give a point in either direction and you go through it. And I remember I did it that season for about half the season. I was probably about 65%, which in essence is a win. When it comes to
anything over
65% of your bets, you're winning.
You are.
But it just got so time consuming, so ridiculous that sitting there and trying to figure out these formulas and put it into play and actually make it work.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm going on a tangent here and I'm rambling about this shit, but that's just how bad it's been. You know what I mean? Where I'm focusing in on fantasy and fucking betting on sports and just having a little fun with it. And, that's it. This past weekend, I put like a $25 bet in on the morning game with the Colts. That hit. I saw I have a little extra ammo. So I just flipped that, did a quick 3-game parlay. That popped. I was like, all right, I'm rolling. I made a small bet at 4:00. Nothing happened. And then I put it all in on the Jets.
Fuck it.
I saved myself because I probably would have done a split between the Jets and the Bills. I would have fucking lost on both of them anyway.
Can't do that. Antonio Pierce, he already beat one New York team. He's going to beat the second. And sure enough,
that was so bad. I let my brother talk me into that one. He's like, dude, you really think with that defense, we're going to let a rookie quarterback and Antonio Pierce beat us?
You would think that.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. That makes. He's like, Breece Hall's going to run wild. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Get all in on the Jets. Let's have some fun tonight. Yeah.
They were winning, then they blew.
Oh my God, dude. And the whole thing was the only thing I kept saying back to him as he presents this great argument to make me want to support the Jets on Sunday night. I was like, dude, Zach Wilson. End of story.
Yeah. It's terrible.
And one thing I'm gonna just kind of I'm gonna basically grab out the fucking can and just keep pounding that shit from now until fucking April, the end of April, is I want to be clear that the Giants do not have to draft a quarterback. I have to throw that out there. Right now, before I really get into that in more detail, I do want to mention one thing. If there is some sort of loss of a locker room or, you feel like Daboll's not maybe reaching every player or players are being a little disgruntled with him. Now, I don't expect it from Daniel Jones because he did sign that 4-year deal and is going to be the highest paid player on our roster. But you can see where there could be a sort of disconnect with players that aren't theirs. One thing that people were questioning before Daniel Jones' contract came into play and everything else was that does Daboll and Shane want to bring in their guy, right? You always hear that. Oh, this coaching staff needs their guy. So I think until they have their guys in play, their jobs are safe. Unless it's just a circus act like we saw with McAdoo, where shit is just really fucking going off the fan. But until then, these guys are secure, at least for next year. If we start off the season again and we just keep getting blown out and we're embarrassed by Dallas and embarrassed by another team, then we'll fucking talk about their jobs being taken from them. But until then, they could do a small little thing like Buffalo did with firing their offensive coordinator and Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm trying to say? That might be the next thing. Look, do I think Kafka falls on the axe this season? Probably not. But what I could see is if somehow they get through these next 7 games, everything stays intact, we're losing however way we're losing, that starting next year, a guy like Kafka would be the scapegoat.
That could be it. I agree with you there. I think definitely the coordinators, offensive line, coach Bobby Johnson, he could get the axe. The axe is definitely going to fall. Not just one.
Somebody has to.
Not just one, but it has to be like a few guys. I don't think it's just going to be one guy. Remember back in the day when McAdoo, he had the shaggy hair, and then the next year he showed up all slicked back. that's when I knew we were fucked. So if next year Brian Dable comes back with a full head of hair from the Hair Club for Men, you know it's a sign we're gonna be fucking screwed next year.
Either that, he went on some Slim Fast diet. He dropped
Yeah,
like 75 pounds of
right.
shit. He's like all brolic and in shape. You know what I mean? It's like,
Fuck
yo,
it.
you haven't been focusing on football. You're focusing on your image.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
fuck-
but then McAdoo, isn't that when he came back looking like a 1970s porn star?
yeah, it was crazy. Like, remember the first press conference, he had an oversized suit on. It was
Right.
hilarious. So I'm like, oh, that's a real coach. And then it's fucking everything just changed. So yeah, Brian Dable is gonna if he loses like 100 pounds by watching the Richard Simmons fucking workout tapes, gonna be fucking screwed next year. But
That's the automatic, you know, you're fucked.
we are. We're definitely fucking screwed. All right. So listen,
I
Giants.
mean, let's touch on that for a quick moment, though. Even though I know we're gonna fucking basically have this conversation over and over and over again from now until the end of April, right? So literally, what do we have? We have the rest of this month in November, right? So you have December, then 4 months, like another 5 months of talking about this shit,
Crazy.
and it's already that fucking like, oh, God, dude, we gotta do it. And I keep saying we have so many other holes to fill. Look, I could deal. Look, and this is fine. This is exactly what I am asking. We go and we get a top player with that pick, whatever it is, right? And look, if we end up having a number 1 pick or the number 2 pick, we stay where we currently are. Fine. The conversation of quarterback will come up, but I don't want to feel pressured or forced that we have to take a quarterback.
Do you
if
trade
we
out?
Get a stud, trade back. But if we could get a stud offensive lineman, we can get a stud pass rusher, we can get a stud lockdown corner, you know, any of those things, and then go in round 2 and just add and get another rusher and another defense, you know, another offensive lineman or something. Right. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if we win just 4 or 5 games with Daniel Jones banged up and whatever backup journeyman we bring in at quarterback. Who gives a fuck? At least we're building that core up so that when you look at a team like the Jets, for example, right? Look, that they had so many opportunities. It's fucking Zach Wilson. You know what? Aaron Rodgers beats Vegas. Aaron Rodgers probably has them with 3 or more wins at least on that Jet team. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if we can get the Giants to a point where literally it's just the fucking quarterback that's a problem, then we go get that quarterback. Because if we waste the pick on, say, Caleb Williams, he comes in and he's okay. I mean, what if he's fucking Bryce Young? What if he's Bryce Young?
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Then
you don't know. Nobody knows.
You know what I mean? Then we're still getting another top 3 pick with a quarterback that's banged up and that people already are fucking trying to get him out of New York. You know what I'm trying to say? What about all the hype with Malik Willis? Where the fuck is he now? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't want to run yourself into that situation where you know you need offensive line help. You know you need another pass rusher. You know you need a cornerback. You know you're probably going to need a running back. We still don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. But let's make sure we get a quarterback. For what? So I am going to repeat that probably 4 million times until I'm fucking blue in the face and fucking the April draft is here. But with that said, that's all I have to say in regards to that shit.
We're probably gonna have to take a month off because it's gonna be like very repetitive around that time. My thing is like if we do end up with like 1 or 2, I think to be honest, I think they trade out. I think they trade back a little bit for a team that really wants a quarterback, and we could get like a bunch of first round picks, seconds, thirds, whatever the case may be. I would probably take that because you're right. There's a lot of holes. You know, we got 2 second-round picks. There's going to be quarterbacks that's going to fall there. Hey, listen, I like that kid Ewers from Texas. I like Bo Nix. I know you don't like second-round quarterbacks because you say they always fucking suck. But hey, there was Brett Favre. There was almost Drew Brees. There was a few guys that
almost Lamar Jackson.
Almost Lamar Jackson. They were almost second-rounders. But you're right, though. Obviously I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I wouldn't mind them getting – a couple extra first rounders and, going that route and get your quarterback that you could groom for a year and Jones come back for the year and just see what happens after next year. If you're hopefully injury free and you're building something again and the team's a lot better, then we should all be happy about it. But until then,
listen, Mike, unfortunately, this is going to be something we're going to continue to talk about because even something was leaked earlier today, according to Ralph O'Connell of Fox Sports, that there's a conflict over what the situation and what the future of the quarterback position should be for the Giants.
See safe.
I saw there you go. All right. So there's already that. So who knows if it's Mara pushing back on Shane and Dable, or Dable pushing on Mara, or Dable and fucking Shane is split. Who the fuck knows?
You
But
never
that's
know.
definitely going to come to light at least over the next few weeks, where we'll find out a little bit more regarding that. So that's why I said
Oh yeah.
it's going to be an ongoing thing. But I want to be here in fucking the middle of November saying that I don't think the Giants have to draft a
All right.
quarterback.
I
If by the time
I
April
agree.
rolls around and all the bowl games are finished and all the senior shit is done and all the fucking games are done and combine and all this shit, if there's these elite quarterbacks that are really standing out that are just killing it, and we're sitting at 1 or 2, fine. But if that's not the case, and it's just one of those years where it's just like, well, that's the guy, so he's got to be picked, I'm not buying that shit. Fuck that, because I don't want to have happen what's happened with Baker Mayfield. We'll see what's going to happen with Kyler Murray, right? You see the Bears traded up with Justin Fields, and now people are saying they might have another quarterback. You'll see what happened with Bryce Young. And shit, that's just the last few fucking drafts.
Right.
That's not even going to back in the day where this shit happened all the fucking time. Blake Bortles and fucking all these other guys. It's crazy, man.
That's because 50% hit or miss in the first round trip, which is fucking crazy. That's a crazy fucking stat. And it's just the truth.
Right. It's crazy. So that's why I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being like, so Giants fam, yo, is it gonna be May or is it gonna be
it's brutal, man. Fucking what happens? What happens when what's his name? Tyrod Taylor comes back, Jules, and he wins a couple games, so we're out of the first and 2 spots. What happens?
I mean, listen, you know what? Washington sold out all this shit just because they've looked good and they stay competitive in games. Doesn't mean we can't fucking beat them on Sunday. You know what I mean? And then what happens? Then we play New England. They don't look fucking great either. You know what I'm saying? Like, still winnable games on this schedule where the Giants could pull out another fucking 2 or 3 wins before the season's done. We might lose every fucking game. I mean, the way we've been playing, I mean, fucking Tommy Soprano DeVito, fucking my quarterback. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do there.
I know. It's funny. I seen on like social media, like, oh, DeVito threw 2 touchdowns in against Dallas. So everybody's like, Daniel Jones only threw 2 touchdowns. I'm like, dude, stop it. They're playing. Danny DeVito is playing fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, whatever his name is, Danny DeVito. He's fucking throw 2 cheap touchdowns in garbage time. And I seen it on Twitter at the BBO NYG podcast. By the way, I got reinstated. Chad Powers is back. I had to go after. You know what? I for a quick story how I got reinstated on Giants Twitter. Every day I would go at them, try to appeal, and they say the same shit. So are you? Blah blah. They had same shit, same excuse. So finally, I got fed up, and I was like, "You motherfuckers are showing dead fucking babies in a war," and I say, I wish these protesters would get run over by a fucking car sometimes. That's what I got suspended for, Chad Powers. And I was like, fuck you. I was like, fuck you, right? And then all of a sudden I got an email. Oh, we're sorry. We didn't mean to suspend you for that. So I had to throw a fucking tantrum just to get back reinstated, which is fucking nuts. But it's to your point, Jules. Like, we get hit with like murders, fucking people get run over by trucks, the actual videos, but I can't say that. But you can show people's heads falling off. It's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen probably about 7 people be murdered on X at this point.
Every day.
That's okay. That's totally all right.
Every hour you fucking see that shit. But listen, Chad Powers is back, so go follow him. You want to take a break and get into the picks?
Yeah, I mean, but real quick though, I know we make light of it. I know he gets a lot of flack. I know there was a lot of memes going around, with references to the Sopranos and everything else. But I mean, at the end of the day, what Tommy DeVito was able to do and being able to come in and be a local guy that fucking starts for his hometown team and go into Dallas and throw 2 touchdowns with his family, it's pretty fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that kid, that dude's always going to have a story that he can fucking shit, or when he gets older and whatnot. Like, even when he's in his fucking 30s and 40s, like the dude's going to be fucking talking about how, I started for the Giants and did that. So it's a cool, feel-good story. Like you gotta like take some sort of like good out of this fucking season, right? So like it was fun. I mean, look how excited we got for when he was like throwing touchdowns in preseason. You know what I mean? Yeah, so at least he did that. The kid is always gonna have that memory. Shit, I know I would fucking love that memory. I wish I could be sitting here being like, yeah, dude, we might have sucked and got our heads kicked. I still threw 2 touchdowns against Dallas.
Yeah, he's probably going back to his hometown, slaying bitches in his fucking little bed that his mommy still makes. That his mommy still fucking makes his bed. So he's out somewhere in Jersey just slaying right now because
he's hanging out like fucking in Ramsey, New Jersey, at like the local bar and shit, picking up women.
For real, good for him, man. Good for him. Good for
Oh, fuck
DeVito.
that. At least you can tell me that fucking credit. And
Well,
Tom, if you want to grab a beer with the BBO, just let us know. Dude, we're in.
yeah, for real. All right. Well, on that note, let's take that quick commercial break. We'll be right back on the BBO NYG podcast. All right, we are back. The Big Blue Offensive Podcast on Mike. That's Jules. Well, Jules, it's pick time. We were pretty good last week. Came in like 5th place in this pool we're in. Not bad. Only 1st and 2nd place get money, but we're right there. We missed one key bet last week. But we got some games.
What key bet did we miss? I'm curious now.
Last week we missed the Cincinnati game. Of course, and that's the one that knocked me out the Survivor pool.
Hey, listen, my man CJ Stroud. I have him on a team where I just lost to a really shitty squad, and I don't know how. And I'm looking, and I'm like, because you know why? You know why this fucking guy beat me with his shit fucking squad? Because he had CD fucking Lamb.
Oh, you went
fucking sucker.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there wanting to smash the TV as is, and then I got to see this cocksucker fucking running a touchdown in from fucking 20 yards away. Like, fuck you cocksucker.
Yeah, in our fantasy, I had to start Dak Prescott because Mahomes was on vacation. He had the bye week. So yeah, and Dak just put up fucking like 47.5 points. I'm like,
I had him in the league where I had to start him too. So whatever.
I mean,
at least I got that plus there. I definitely won that league.
I was like, here we go. All right. So here we go. The first game is Thursday night. Speaking of Cincinnati, is at Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 3.5 against Cincy. I knew Baltimore was going to lose to Cleveland. What a game that was.
That was a sick-ass game. Especially they were fucking crushing them in the first half. And then all of a sudden in the second half, the Browns come roaring back to win their game. I mean, I had a feeling the Ravens were due for a loss kind of deal. But now you're put in a situation where this is for the division kind of. Bengals are technically not even in the playoffs as of today. And it's a Thursday night game with them both coming off of a loss. Yeah, this is a tough one, man. We're going to see what team is for real. That's the real thing here. We will see what team is real. I would take the points in this. That's just me. I'm getting 3.5. I can see this being a field goal game. I can see this being like a 27, 24 final type thing, or 20, 30 to 20. But Ravens defense has been pretty good, so probably like a 24-21 game. And like a last minute drive field goal wins the game type thing.
I can see that.
I can see that. That's where I'm kind of feeling.
Thursday night games are usually pretty close.
Yeah.
So.
I don't see the Ravens kicking the Bengals ass. You know what I mean?
No, I don't see that either. All right, we'll take them. All right, next game. Dallas is in Carolina. Dallas is a heavy point favorite again, minus 10.5. It's weird. Dallas goes to Arizona. And they lose there. But you know what? Arizona with Josh Dobbs playing fucking well. I don't trust Bryce Young. So I probably got to go with Dallas here.
Yeah, I hate they got to beat them by more than 10, but whatever.
Yeah, can't fucking bet Carolina. Nobody's that stupid. All right, next game at Cleveland. They're minus 4.5 against Pittsburgh. Fuck Pittsburgh.
I hate that game, to be honest with you. I mean, Pittsburgh was part of my parlay that I hit on Sunday, though. But I had to fucking sweat that out.
I needed Green Bay to score a touchdown. If they scored a touchdown, I would have hit a 6-game of spread that you can put -6. Like, instead of like getting 6 points that way, you make you say like Cleveland's favored by 5. You put 6 the other way, they make them Cleveland -11 or something like that. That's how you do on this spread. And the odds go phenomenal. So I had a $100 bet for like 5 games. Green Bay was the only loss I had to win $40,000. $40,000. That's how this is on FanDuel. You could do this. I didn't know you could do this.
You gotta explain this to me offline again. I'll fucking try to figure it out for this weekend.
Yeah, if you got the FanDuel account,
I think the Browns again. It kind of, because they're the ones giving the points to the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
I kind of fall back to what I had said with the Bengals and the Ravens game, but this is a little different because both teams are coming off of wins, right? But they're sitting there at 6-3, and they're both chasing the Ravens and the Bengals. God, man, like this is what
Pittsburgh ain't that good though. I watched them play. They're not, and don't forget Cleveland got to supposedly have a good D, and I don't trust Pickett.
Well, can we bet the under here? I know it's at 36.5, but I'm still like, I think it might go under.
See, now on the tees, you can make it minus 30. Take the
yeah, right.
All right.
Like,
Listen, I'm
yeah.
taking Cleveland, Jules. I'm not taking Pittsburgh. I don't trust. They're not like they're a 6-3 team, but they're not that good, man.
I mean, is Watson 100% healthy? He still is because he looked a little nicked up at the end of that game.
He's always nicked up.
I know. That's what I mean. Like that, and then Jerome Ford looks solid. It's a rematch. They played already earlier in the year, right? These two?
I don't remember.
Yeah. They played on Monday night at the second week of the season.
Monday night. Yes.
26-22 final, and the Browns lost.
Oh, this is a payback game.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so
I think
there we
Pittsburgh
go.
scored like some kind of like punt return and
I
interception.
think you said Browns, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go Browns.
Go with them. All right, next game, Detroit. In Detroit, they're minus 10.5 against Chicago. I think Fields is back for this game. I think that's a high spread. Detroit, I don't know, man. Sure, they put up a lot of points against the Chargers, but who doesn't? And I think I'm not really sold on Detroit blowing out the Bears. This is division.
Here's one of those
games,
ones I wish we could wait for the pick because I agree with you.
Fields plays.
You're giving me 10.5 with Fields playing. I like my chances. With him not playing, the Lions are supposed to be that team. It's supposed to be the Eagles, the 49ers, the Lions, and the Cowboys. Those are your top 4 NFC teams this year. So I like they better show the fuck up. You need to smack your division opponent at home. That's the only thing there. Like you do. And I get what you're saying with it. It's kind of what Arizona did this past Sunday. I do feel that guys like Kyler Murray and Justin Fields and all that shit are playing for their jobs.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're right.
And their teams are so bad and in such a position where they can make a move for a quarterback. So, Kyler Murray woke the fuck up, came in, he's playing his ass off now for Arizona. Watch them win a few games. And I can say the same for Justin Fields in Chicago if he's playing. So that's how I feel. So I don't know. Maybe we could make an adjustment on it.
He looked like he was getting back. He definitely looked like he was getting back. Like he's almost going to play the last game. So I think he should be back for this one. But all right. Speaking of Arizona, the next game at Houston, they're minus 4.5 against Arizona.
Kyler Murray or not, I am not betting against Texas right now. Not
they're
right now.
Fire, right?
Prove me wrong. Let me see CJ Stroud look like a fucking rookie. And then I'll come back down with it. Till then, I'll ride him.
Yeah, they're fire right now.
They're fire. Singletary looked like he was fucking reborn or some shit. Like he didn't even.
I knew it, Jules. I knew it. Why did I take the Bengals in my Survivor pick? I fucking knew it.
Oh man, dude.
Fucking.
You know what? And just not that this isn't gonna put any kind of salt on the wound, but I looked at that game and I said, you know what? The over was at 46. I was like, I'm smacking the over. That was it. I took the Steelers, the over in that game, and the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings.
Right. And the only one I sweated was the fucking Steelers.
Yep. Yeah, gotta go Houston, no doubt. All right, next game.
Let's get Stroud. Let's see how real deal he is.
All right, this game, it's at Miami. They're actually 11.5-point favorites against Vegas. I think Antonio Pierce's luck runs out. I think Miami, I think they whoop them.
Yeah, unfortunately,
they can't keep up. They can't keep up. Their defense, they can't keep up with them.
Like, listen, I look at that whole team and even their coach, especially their coach. There's nothing I like about Miami. Nothing. Like, I look at that team. Like Tyreek Hill, I've always had a beef with. Like Waddle, I said was going to be a bust. Like, there's no room for him now. I mean, Tua, I guess, all right. Like, I've never had a problem with Tua. He's all right. I got him on a fantasy team, so I guess he's the bright spot of Miami. That coach looks like he's a fucking computer nerd. But yeah, no, I think the Raiders, their luck of winning against two, lower teams from New York at home, their luck runs out being in Vegas, in Miami rather.
They can't keep up with them. That's a key bet. All right, next game.
Especially them coming off of a bye.
At Washington, Jules, 9.5 against our Giants. I'm like, dude, I know they played Washington tight. They were playing good defense against that team. But, dude, how can you take the Giants getting any kind of points for the rest of the year, to be honest? I can't do it.
I know. I mean, I want to take the Giants so bad.
I want to too, but
I just can't. It's like we somehow beat them a couple weeks ago. How did that even happen?
Tyrod scores 2 touchdowns in the first half, and that was it. and we won. I'm like, how? And they almost came back and tied it. So
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think.
honestly, to think that the Giants basically over the last 3 games, all on the table, are 1-0-1 against fucking Washington. Sorry, yeah, we're excuse me 2-0-1 over the last 3 games on the table. This would be his fourth against Washington. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you would think they get us.
yeah, I think they
You know, like you would. I don't know if they beat us by 10. That's just the only thing I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do
I
they
can't
know? Do
see
they
this.
really beat us by 10? Ah.
I'm not taking the Giants getting any points, no matter what the rest of the year.
Yeah, we can't take the Giants until further
Fuck them.
notice. That's fair, I guess.
All right. Next game, the Chargers coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Lions. They're -3.5 in Green Bay.
Uh, it's got to be the Chargers, man. Their season's on the line. Chargers lose this game in Green Bay, it's over for them.
Yeah.
They have no shot in a loaded AFC. But you know what? If they win, they get to 5-5. A lot of teams got losses in the AFC this year. They creep back into it. It means way more to them than it does the Pack.
It's a tough line, but fuck Green Bay. So yeah, we'll go with the Chargers. All right, next game, Jacksonville in Jacksonville, coming off a loss to San Fran, where San Fran just exposed them. Jacksonville's -6.5 against Tennessee. I actually think Jacksonville comes back and rolls. Their offense is too good. Tennessee is just they're whack.
They're in a rebuild year too, I think, Tennessee. So, like, yeah, I mean,
That's another
if Jacksonville's going to stand out and try to make themselves relevant in the AFC, they got to win this fucking game. They have to. And especially the way Houston's been playing, if they don't, they're gonna fucking be the choke artists of the fucking second half of the season.
Yeah, Jacksonville gotta step up, get that game in. All right, next game. Ooh, at San Fran, they're -11.5 against Tampa Bay. That's a big line, right?
It is a big line. It is. I mean,
Tampa Bay's not that bad.
No, but you know what?
They're not a shitty team. It's just Baker throws picks at the wrong time.
Yeah, and he's gonna be going against their defense on the road in fucking San Fran. Like, I think San Fran's got to step up. They've got to be that team that makes the noise because that's it. You know, they can't afford another loss. And you know, I'm sure they're tired of hearing about fucking the Eagles. And yeah, I'm going San Fran now.
All right, you convinced me. I'll take San Fran. At Buffalo, the Jets go there. Buffalo's -6.5 against the Jets.
Zach Wilson.
Right. Yeah. Right. And even though Buffalo took a step back, Buffalo did they really took a step back
have.
with Josh.
Here's what I'll throw in. This is all I'm throwing in. It's the only reason why I'm taking Buffalo this week is because anytime a team goes as far as firing your offensive coordinator, if that team doesn't fucking show up on that Sunday, then there's a lot bigger issues than just your fucking OC. So yeah. I'm telling you right now, I think they step up. They owe the Jets. Jets beat them fucking the last 2 times out, basically. They owe. This is a payback for Buffalo. And if Buffalo still wants to be relevant and still trying to make the playoffs this season, they have to win. All right. I know it's a good defense. It is. But yeah, man, fuck that. Zach Wilson lost to the fucking Raiders on fucking. He almost lost to Tommy DeVito in the pouring rain in fucking the Meadowlands at MetLife. Like,
I know.
Wilson,
yeah.
All right, let's be telling me fucking Aaron Rodgers could play with fucking Wank. Hell no.
Yeah. Fuck that game.
And if I'm wrong, then that's it. They're done.
Buffalo's done.
This is well,
right. Yeah. If they lose that game, they're fucking.
Yeah, fuck them. They lose that game.
All right, next game, Seattle. Basically, it's a pick. They play the Rams. Seattle's actually -0.5 point. Man, the Seattle Rams game is what's his name? Is Stafford back?
I think he is.
Is Kyrie Williams back? You know.
And again, that's what you need, right? But they also signed. Didn't the Rams sign Carson Wentz?
Yeah, they did.
And for one of them, I thought I heard too that they also released the other quarterbacks. So if they did, that means Stafford's healthy.
That means he's back. Yeah,
he's back. You know what I mean? He's back for that game.
Seattle's a weird team, but I'll go with the Rams just because they're home. You know,
they're home. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go Rams there. Fuck it.
All right, next game, the hot team at Denver. They're -2.5 against Minnesota. Fuck Denver. Fuck them.
I want to say that.
Dobbs.
I want to say that. I don't know how that team is going to respond in Mile High. The Vikings. If this was in Minnesota, slam dunk, they win, no doubt.
They're playing
on the road with Dobbs. Jeff is still fucking questionable.
Yo, Minnesota 6-4, and Justin Jefferson probably gonna play.
Is he though?
I mean, he was almost gonna play last game, so now it's like I think he's designated to come off IR. He's gonna practice again. And that's a Sunday night game. I think he comes back for a Sunday night game. I don't think Jefferson's missing the Sunday nighter.
I mean, listen, I guess at this point, the Vikings are playing to try to get the playoffs. They're at 6-4. They're right down the cost.
Dude, what a story.
Dobbs is back, then Navy. Right. They're showing that last year wasn't a fluke. You know, yeah, we can go over Minnesota, but I still question that game.
Listen, I always like Cousins. I always thought he's a good quarterback, but he's not mobile. Right. Dobbs can get out the pocket and extend plays. Dude, watch out, man. I'm telling you, Minnesota is going to be like a little force because their defense got a little bit better.
Yeah, well, they coordinated. Don't they have, what's his name there? Is it Flores? I don't know. I forget who their coordinator is. But it's a pretty well-known defensive coordinator.
Right. I think you might be right. I think they're a team I actually like. I like rooting for Dobbs, man. I wanted the Giants to trade from a few weeks ago. And I thought that, he might have like helped save the season a little bit. I like the way he plays, man. I think he's a good quarterback. He makes plays, So
yeah, but it's just one of those things. It's like, where's he been his whole career?
You know what? I'm taking that
as a way called lightning in a bottle. It could be a Jeff Hostetler type fucking quarterback.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
That's my key bet. I'll let you pick the last one because we already got. All right, last game. Kansas City's -2.5 in Kansas City against Philly. I hate it that I want to say it, but I like Philly in this game. I think they beat Kansas City. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but Philly, like Kansas City's just too. They don't have the offensive weapons like they did in the past. They have Kelsey. That's it. And Philadelphia, they got linebackers. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough.
So you're going to tell me that fucking Philly is going to move into having fucking that much of a record over the rest of the NFL?
I think so, bro. I honestly do. I think Philly. I hate saying it, but I see how Philly is. I see the team is built, and I see how weak Kansas City is at times. And especially on offense, it's just not the same Mahomes. Like, trust me, I know because I got Mahomes in 3 leagues, and I know
Swifties are gonna be in attendance.
I know. Dude, I hate.
You're saying in Philadelphia, this sits in fucking Kansas City, bro.
I want to jump off the bridge, but I'm taking Philly. Change my mind.
Oh my God. Dude, listen, first of all, I hate both of these teams. If this is a rematch for the Super Bowl, the NFL is fixed, and I'll be questioning the 2024 season, right? That if I even want to watch, because the fact that last year QB1, the Netflix show, fucking featured Pat Mahomes and they go on to win the fucking Super Bowl somehow. And now you got the whole fucking Taylor Swift thing going on, and they're fucking all over the news, and they're the best team in the AFC again. And then you have this fucking this dirt neck fucking Philly team that I fucking could despise. All right. Like, I can't stand it. I think they're a bunch of fucking just assholes. Their fans suck. That's right. Any fucking person who's in Philadelphia, fuck you. All right. So no, I can't do it. I'll be rooting for fucking Pat Mahomes.
All right. Kansas City is. All right. You need to pick a key back. So we got 3. We got Miami, we got Jacksonville, and we got Minnesota. Minnesota's mine.
Miami, Jacksonville, Minnesota. Okay. Oh, I hate making my key bet on the road because that like eliminates the Cowboys, right? We took the Cowboys or no? No, right? Yeah. That's why I'm like, Cowboys kind of pop out.
I know you like
what? God, that's crazy.
You like Houston, right?
I'm like, yeah, but that's gonna be a war. Like I said, Kyler Murray's playing for his job. Like, that's just a fun game to watch, considering that I'm fucking stuck watching the Giants and all that bullshit. Now that we have all the YouTube TV and all this type of stuff, I can actually watch that game. I don't have to watch all the Giants game.
You don't have to. I know.
So that's more of an entertainment purpose, I think. Fuck, man, key bet.
Chargers.
I was looking there. And then I'm looking at one of the teams from New York, but I don't know if I should do it. Like that just pissed me off. Maybe I'm a little bitter because it cost me on Sunday night and they couldn't beat the Raiders when I fucking fucking sent it all in for them. So maybe I'm still feeling that. I don't know. I'm gonna go Chargers. You know what? The only thing there is
Makes sense.
just real quick is just that like everybody blames Herbert. Herbert can't win the big game. He can't do this. I was watching that game against Detroit this past Sunday because the Giants were just pissing me off at that fucking point.
Yeah.
And I started watching it. They had first and goal from the 1 yard line. They ran back-to-back sneaks, couldn't get it in. So there you go, Mike, right? With the push, all that bullshit. And fucking, yeah, I know, tush, whatever. But like the fact that like the Giants can't do it, apparently the Chargers fucking can't do it either, all right? And then on top of it, they go to like kind of do a pass play, but it looked janky on third down. They go for it on fourth down, and they do this retarded, like fucking like lateral pass to the running back that gets stopped and dropped for like a 3-yard loss. That's coaching. That's bad play calling. That's not fucking Herbert. Like it's just fucking like when I saw the second one get stuffed on the sneak, I was like, sneak it again. There's no fucking way you're gonna get stuffed 3 times. And if you do, okay, fine. You come up with a crazy ass play on fourth down. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I'm gonna go Chargers. We'll go Chargers at the end of the day. That's it. But I have to say that.
All right, it's done.
Oh man, so what did we learn in tonight's episode? Well, we learned that fucking the Giants suck, and so does all New York sports. We learned that you should read a book from 1973 that Larry Merchant fucking wrote. All right, it'll break down gambling. It'll make this season a little bit more fun. The New York Football Lottery. I don't know why I feel like bringing it up tonight, but it popped in my fucking head. It's that bad. We're at that point in time again. You know what? Maybe if you're into Madden football on your fucking PlayStations or Xbox, you could build a fucking Giants dynasty and fucking show us how it's done. Because I think we're going to be in for a long couple of years still before we get this shit straightened out. I'm thinking more 2025, 2026 before we fucking are actually looking like a playoff contending team. But until then, you know what? Do what I do every week. What Mike does, put in small bets, have a little fun watching some of the other games. When it gets to the Giants, just make sure you're nice and drunk and watch the game like that. It's always more fun. We'll definitely be back next week. But until then, be safe, get drunk, watch football. We'll see you.
Small bets here, right? Go do it.